Hello and welcome to the Interprise Suite CRM module demo. Okay, the first screen we see as we log in is the left-hand menu, the tree menu, where we've got a new section. So we want to create a new lead, new prospect, new customer. That's where we do it. We want to find a lead or a prospect or a customer or any of these things. We could obviously use find. We've got a tools section for various dashboards. Okay, so dashboard I can first see is my calendar. And I can see this sort of graphically, my calendar. I can see a list of to-dos. Yeah, I can see a list of callbacks that I need to make. Okay, so let's create an activity. Okay, so let's say I'm going to create a meeting on the 21st. I can do this by double-clicking on the actual day, or I can say new activity, or I can create a new activity from the menu. Okay, so I just double-click on here. It'll open the activity form. So the type is meeting. Okay, I'm going to say subject to discuss a network quote. Okay, I've got a private button here. Okay, so what that means is that if I click it as private, then people can see I'm busy, but they can't actually see what I'm doing. Okay, the next field is who am I meeting with. Okay, so if I type toy in and hit return, it do a while search on all my contacts and all my entities. And obviously I can pick on any one of those. Okay, so I'll pick this one on Mr. Andrew Shannon at the Toy House. It automatically assigns it to me. I'm logged in as admin. Okay, so it's put the admin user there. I can assign it to anyone else I want to, as well as a team, a sales rep or a territory as well. And those were defaulted if I had defaults. The start date of that meeting, the time, duration. Things obviously like notes. Okay, so whatever we're going to do on that meeting, we need to kind of do this and that. Okay, who are the attendees? Okay, so obviously it picks me as default. I can obviously assign it to someone else if I want to. I can say I need the basic user in with this as well. I can also say I need the conference room and I need the overhead projector. Okay, now obviously with so many things, if it's just me, okay, it'd be quite straightforward, but because I've got kind of so many things here, I need to look at availability, and I can see that everyone's available on that date. Yeah, and I'll say, should we do it at 2 o'clock? Okay, and that changed the actual time up here. If any of these were busy, they'd have red blocks marked, so you could see that they were busy. I can send everyone an email to say I've made you an appointment. Okay, and that's it. So that's basically a very, very quick and easy meeting. I can attach documents and notes as well if I want to, and I can see a sort of history to it. I can also categorize this particular type of meeting if I want to. So things like, I don't know, it's a sales visit. Okay, I could link it to an opportunity or a campaign wave as well, and I could obviously assign it a colour. There's also a custom fields section. If I had any custom fields I wanted to fill out at the same time. Alright, so I'll save and close that. And then what you'll be able to see there is I've got a kind of meeting in on that day. Okay, let's. If I look at my group calendar, my grouping calendar, I could group this by team, by contact, by entity. If I group it by the people assigned to, then what I could do is I can split my diary up into what I'm doing, yeah, and what other people are doing, or what type of meeting it is. Okay, so we can also look at this as a timeline. We can also look at this from a week point of view or a working day point of view. I can also look at it as a list. See easily if there's a lot of them. Okay, we've also got an activity filter. Okay, so I can look at just between a date range. I can just look at certain activity types, certain things with priorities. So I could just look at the high priority items. I could also look at completed and cancelled items as well if I wanted to. I can just look at a particular sales rep type calendar or a territory or a particular type of activity. I'm looking at all at the minute, but I could just look at my calendar, a list of people's calendar, or just my team, and obviously apply that, and I can save these filters as well. Okay. So let's create another type of activity, which is maybe a call activity. Okay, so I'm making a call, okay, to someone. Okay, it's about the quote. It's to my toy customer again. Okay, so I'll say Toys R Us. We discussed this, that and the other, whatever it was. and I can say, right, okay, Miss Ali McClory, that basically I'm going to call you back in a week's time. Okay, so if I create callback, what this will basically do is it'll save the call, okay, and it'll mark it as complete, as a record that I actually did that call, and obviously whatever notes I've got on there. And I can say, right, I'll call you back in a week's time. Okay, so I'll say okay, yeah, and that'll create a callback type activity. Okay, so if I just refresh my list here, you can see that I've got here that I need to call back in, as part of my callbacks. Yeah, to actually do. I can right mouse click this and say, right, I've completed it or cancelled it, or I can say it's in progress, or I can open it back up again. Yeah, and then you can actually see it. Okay. Okay, so briefly, that's my calendar. My to-dos, which just roll forward. Yeah, if I don't do them. Okay, I've got one there for pick up the laundry as a reminder, or whatever kind of. So instead of writing down on your pad or whatever things you need to do, you can actually make a log of them as to-dos there. Okay. Other dashboards we've got on here, because that's the calendar one. Yeah, we've also got a workflow one, which means that if you wanted to, you could just kind of use this as your menu if you wanted to. So I wanted to find activity or new lead or whatever, I could do it from this menu. We've also got a cases dashboard. Okay, so what this is you can log activities again, but case type activities, and these are things like complaints or problems, and you want to keep track of them. Yeah, so for example, as in a software business, we log all our support calls. Yeah, I know that 96% of them are all dealt with on the first phone call, but obviously there's always those that you can't deal with straight away. And what this does is it allows you to keep track of those and not forget about them and not lose them. Okay, so the first thing I see is obviously this particular pipe that sort of says that's how many logged, that's how many overdue, that's how many in progress. I can also change this to be. Oh, sorry. Well, it is on the service level agreement, so I can say, well, just give me the overdue ones. Yeah, then it'll just filter that down immediately. Yeah, but I can also look at it from the status point of view as well. Okay, they're all at the kind of same status. Okay, I can forget the chart and just go straight to the list. You know, I can have the chart as well. It's obviously up to you. On all these kind of lists, yeah, I can group. So I can group by maybe the user assigned to, yeah, and or a multiple of columns. Okay, so let's look at a new case. Okay, so this is, let's say the network is down or something. Okay, who is it? Okay, it was Mr. Toy Customer again. I'll say Rainy Tay Toys. Now, with cases, yeah, you can have what's called a service level agreement. So it puts today's date and time in for me. Okay, and it automatically adds whatever the service level agreement is attached to this particular customer. Okay, so and then it's put the okay, so I'm logging this at 17:34. So if it was 8 working hours, it would be tomorrow at 17:34. But I think this is attached to 4 working hours, so that's why it's put 1 o'clock. Yeah, okay. It depends obviously what working calendar and working hours we work. Because looking at that, I think it's a bit different. So if I look here, I've got service level calendar. So I've got one set up for England and Wales. So these are all the bank holidays for England and Wales. Okay, you can see we've got some other ones on there as well. You can make up your own, add your own company type holidays. We've also got a calendar. Okay, so if I look at the default one, okay, we can say that we work Monday to Friday, 9 till 5. Yeah, so it knows that when I put all these together in a service level agreement, and say, okay, that's the calendar we use, so we know what holidays we've got. That's the holiday calendar. Okay, that's the working week, and that's the calendar, and that's the number of hours. So that's when it knows when it's looking at this particular thing. It knows when the due date of that particular case is. So we'll put more details about the problem. Yeah. And obviously if we can solve it there and then, obviously we can put details about the solution. If there are any particular items it's to do with, yeah, then obviously we can log that as well. It's to do with this 19-inch monitor, just so we can report on what are our problem items, and obviously we can save and close that. Okay, we can obviously attach documents and notes as well, but there we go. So we've got another outstanding case. Okay, so other dashboards we have are for things like opportunities. Okay, so opportunities, if you're a kind of company that just does a quote, yeah, type some items on and email it off, then I could probably use that as my opportunity management, a list of outstanding quotes. Yeah, opportunities I guess are more for if you want to assign. We can assign quotes to opportunities. Yeah, that you do in the system, but you can also, if you do, let's say, a Word document, yeah, because your quotes have to be kind of lots of text and images and all that kind of stuff, and maybe spreadsheets as well, and drawings. Then you might want to say, well, I want to set this up as a kind of opportunity where all these things can go. Okay, so again, if you look at the dashboard, here's all my outstanding opportunities, or I can have my team's outstanding opportunities. I've got rights to do that. My pipeline here, yeah, tells me the various stages, yeah, that these opportunities are at. So again, I can group by any box I want to. So I could group by stage, yeah, and obviously then I can kind of look at each individual stage and see where these opportunities are. Okay, so let's just create a new opportunity so you can get an idea. Okay, so let's say they want a new software. Okay, and the contact name, I'll put toy in there again, and I'll just pick on rainy day toys. It's in progress. When do I expect to close this deal? Okay, well, let's say I expect to close it by end of December. What stage? Okay, these are user definable stages that define your sales process. So, for example, ours is a typical example. We prelim quote someone, then we have a meeting, then we have to have another meeting, or we kind of we're awaiting the order. So I'll just say meeting arranged. Let's say brief details about what the actual opportunity is about. And then I could just put a value in here, whatever it might be, and that could be that. Or what I can do is I can go to my Documents tab and attach documents or images or spreadsheets or whatever I want to do. Yeah, so say yeah. Okay, so I'll assign that particular picture, but it could as well just be a document or a PDF or a Word document or whatever, and then I can accumulate them all here. Okay, so but we also have the ability to assign quotes I've already done, but also create new quotes. Yeah, so if I create a new quote here, it'll launch the new quote form, and it will automatically, if you look here, assign this to that particular opportunity. Okay, so I'll just quote some items, yeah, just to give you an idea. Obviously in the customer module demo, there'll be a demo of the quote form and the actual sales order form and stuff. I can print this off here from here, yeah, so I can go to print, I could email it straight off, yeah, if I wanted to, or I can print preview it. So you can see it automatically puts your logo and address on. These boxes are all kind of arranged, and the layout's totally amendable. In here, obviously, if I picked email, it would email it. We've also got something called lowest cost route. So if they didn't have it would try and email it. If they didn't have an email address, it would fax it. If they haven't got a fax number, then obviously it prints it off so you can send it. And it automatically picks the email address up, yeah, from the actual contact on the actual quote form. Okay, all right. So let's just kind of save and close that. And if I just kind of move tab a minute, move back again, you'll see that there's all the quote or quotes, yeah, that are on this particular opportunity. And if you look here, yeah, you've got an or quote revenue at a value. And what it'll do is when you actually put this into the list, yeah, it'll actually, if there's an estimated value, it'll use that. But if there's a quoted value, that'll override it. And if there's actually a value where you converted that quote to an order, yeah, then it would put that value in. And if you convert the quote to an order, it'll automatically complete the opportunity for you if you want it to. Okay, so that's opportunity management. Okay, we've got document management. This is kind of where you can store memos or quotes or documents, images, just so everyone has access to them that you want access to them. Just a way of neatly kind of assigning documents. We've got reports section. So in each module you've got reports area where you can say give me a list of outstanding cases by due date or opportunities by contact or whatever. And okay, so that's as far as we'll take the dashboards. Okay, so I'll take that grouping off there, so it's just grouped by everybody that I've got a filter on for. Okay, so then we'll start looking at the new side of the menu. Okay, so new lead. Okay, leads are for things like you buy a database in, and you don't know whether they're hot or cold. Yeah, you just dump them into the database, and then you can obviously use them for your target list and all this kind of stuff. But it may have also be things like someone calls up and says, "I'm interested in buying whatever your product is," and literally you just want to note the details. Yeah, and maybe assign a call for someone to call them back, or you just leave the leads outstanding so someone can actually look at the leads and say, yeah, okay, I'll deal with these leads whenever they got time. Okay, so for example, a lead name, let's call this, I don't know, Fast Toys Limited, and the contact is Mr. Tony Ferrari or something. There we go. The address if you've got it. The kind of people that call in, sometimes you just want to get their name, telephone number, yeah, and brief details, maybe their email address as well. Okay, so Tony at fasttoys.co.uk. Okay, again, custom fields, if you wanted to log custom fields when you log these leads, any details about it, and that might be it. Yeah, so you just log that lead, it's part of your outstanding lead list. Yeah, or you may actually want to also log an activity straight off here for someone to actually call them. Yeah, so say So I say call, someone call them. Yeah, about the call in. Okay, that's it, done. Obviously you can assign it to whoever you want to assign it to. Okay, so that's it. So, or you can deal with this by if you go find leads. Here's all my leads. Yeah, so if I look at where's my Fast Toys? There you go. There's my Fast Toys one. So I can look at this as my leads if they've been assigned to me, or just all the active leads that are there. Okay, so let's open that lead up again. Okay, so maybe now this lead, I've talked to them, yeah, and yeah, okay, they're interested in what we're buying. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to convert this lead. Obviously, if they weren't and it wasn't a lead, I could disqualify it, and that would cancel them off. Or I can convert the lead, and I'm going to say I'm going to convert you to a prospect. I could convert them to a customer as well straight off the bat, and I could create an opportunity as well. But I'm just going to create them as a prospect and say OK. And now what you'll notice is the form that's loaded up now, okay, is the prospect form. Okay, it's exactly like the customer form, just with less tabs on it. And you can see that obviously it's their name and address. It's filled out as much as it can. It's put the contact in. The notes that we put in would be there. The activities would be there. And obviously there's one activity to get to call that person, which I should have logged off because obviously it would have been part of my callbacks to do. You've obviously got things like cases, the cases that are outstanding for this particular prospect, opportunities, emails, documents. The customer module will show you in more detail this form, and I'll show you a bit more detail later on. Okay, so let's just save and close that. Okay, let's save and close that. And if I go find prospect now, and obviously there's my Fast Toys one. Obviously you can group, you can sort, you can search. Yeah, so if I search by toy, for example, that will just list all the people with well, it's a while search, so it goes across all fields in the actual database. Yeah, so I'm going to open up that prospect record, and now maybe they want to order something off us. Yeah, and now I'm going to convert them to an actual customer. Okay, so now you can see obviously they've got a lot more tabs across here, like credit, transactions, and other things. So from lead to prospect to customer is very, very easy to do, and obviously very easy to keep track of who's what kind of status. Okay, so let me just close that down and go to find customer. Yeah, and what I'll do is I'll pick on one that I've got more data in, so I can actually show you that form in more detail. Okay, so name and address, custom fields section again, recent history. Okay, so what have I been invoicing and quoting them, trading information like what's their balance on their account. I've got contacts down here, so you can see I've got 2 contacts. You can have as many contacts as you want. You can have notes, and literally adding a note is just as simple as whatever this note might be. I'll just put note example, and obviously got some details here. Just going to type some details in, save and close that. It's part of the notes. Activities. So these are all the activities that have been going on with this toy customer. I've got a little zoom button here, so if I use that zoom button, you can see that it kind of moves this section up. Okay, this gives me not just the outstanding ones but also the completed ones, so I can see what's been going on. But my activity filter will allow me to kind of get rid of the completed and cancelled ones if I want to. And obviously I can change the view, and I can also add to-dos and callbacks separately if I want to. You've got nice little icons to say, well, that was a callback, we need to do a callback on that. We've got a couple of meetings arranged, there's a case outstanding. Good if you're talking to the customer, and he says, oh, I've got a problem, and it's not been dealt with, blah blah. I can sort of say, well, hang on a minute. I can see that you logged this at 14:09. Yeah, well, it's only 15:09 now. Someone's on it, and I can tell him all the details about it, so I can open it up. I can see what's going on. I can say, yeah, this is all about your problem. And obviously customers are much happier when they know that, oh yeah, okay, it has been logged. I can see that other people, everyone knows about it. And that's the same. And cases tab is just cases. Yeah, and opportunities is just opportunities. And I can see what opportunities are outstanding on that particular customer or prospect. Yeah, emails back and forth. So we got a the ability to do POP3 emails. Yeah, obviously in and out the system is standard, but you can also there's a plugin to link this to Exchange. Yeah, so obviously everything can be sent and received by your Exchange. Okay. Okay, let's look at documents now. Okay, so these are documents that you can just attach to the record. Obviously if you're attaching documents to your opportunities and activities, you don't need to do it here as well, but this is for documents that you just might want to store against them. And wave activity. Okay, so if we're going to send them an email shot or a call list or do a letter to them or whatever it might be, we can see what waves they were actually part of and what email shots they actually got. So I can see that they got the call about the new product thing. We've sent them the new product email as well. So quite a lot in one. We've also got these little buttons. Okay, so we can do a new quote from here, a new sales order, a new invoice. We can create a new contact from here. We can do a new note. We can create a new activity. The nice thing about doing them here is that when I say, let's say, create a new case or whatever, it automatically fills in the customer detail for me, and the SLA is straight there. So I just have to kind of, problem, blah blah blah, and it's logged. That's it, done. Yeah, and it's now on there. Okay. We also have a setup tab where we have the currency that we're obviously going to trade in with this particular customer. Payment terms. So what we have is a group of payment terms, not just one payment term, because it might be that we give them 30 days, but they could also pay by credit card if they wanted to, or payment on order. So because this also links to e-commerce, on e-commerce when they're checking out, you want to give them their payment options, and obviously that's where that comes from. And the same thing comes on shipping methods as well. For example, if they're UK mainland, then obviously you can give them next day, but if they're non-UK mainland, then you can't really offer them next day. It has to be kind of 2 or 3 day. So what that does is that groups together the possible delivery shipping methods that you can offer that particular customer or prospect. What's their default warehouse? So when we're selling them stock, which warehouse? It would be better to obviously sell from a warehouse that obviously is nearest to them. If that's so, obviously that's when you do a sales order or a quote, that's the warehouse that would default in. Where did they originate from? Who they assigned to? What's the default shipping delivery address? Who's the default contact for mailing? And who's the default contact for chasing debts? We've got things on here for the link to a rep, as well as obviously a team, or a territory, and if they are commissionable, what kind of commission does this rep get? A different commission on this particular customer? Are they linked to a head office? So then you could group accounts together, and you can also send a statement to the head office, for the group accounts. What's their VAT reg and company reg? And we can also rank them based on numerous criteria. If I look at the contact tab, when you look at the notes and activities and cases and opportunities on the contact tab, it's specific to that contact. So when you look at the general tab, those things include the cases and activities and opportunities across all contacts. But you can see specifically what's been going on with this particular contact. You also have, business phone, the DDI number, and obviously their email and the mobile. You've got little kind of crosses on here to sort of say, well, it's okay to call, or it's not okay to email or call or fax. Yeah, so just when you're doing a target list or a mail shot, you can exclude people that have specifically said, I don't want you to email me or whatever. Okay, so let's have a look at pricing. So we can price things for customers on a basic wholesale or retail price. That's the very basic kind of type of pricing. We've also got a pricing method, which could be, let's say, last price paid, markup on last cost price, or pick a price list. Yeah, and obviously we can drill down on that price list. Pick the price list, but I can also drill down the price list and say, well, what's on that price list? Well, these items are on the price list. So I pick some items and I can say that's the sell price for that item, but I can also break it down and say by unit of measure, if they buy 1 to 100 they get the £9, but if they buy over 100, yeah, they can pay £8. And you can also do this by different units of measure. So if I sold them by the case, I could have quantity breaks on the case. Yeah, if there's nothing in there, then obviously it just defaults to the the default unit of measure for this item. So if I'd said I sold 10 cases at 50, yeah, that would be the equivalent of 500. So it would use the each pricing, and the 500 would actually come into that banding there, and they'd be £8 each. Okay, so you can also export this to Excel and bring it back in, but essentially what I'm trying to say here is that for a customer, you can have a basic wholesale or retail price. You can attach them to a price list. You can also have band discounts on different categories as well. You can also have special pricing, so on these items they pay this amount, and you can also break that down to quantity breaks as well if you want to. So this overrides everything. Then it obviously goes to the price list, and if it's not in the price list, it'll take the retail or wholesale price. Yeah, so you've got quite a lot of pricing options there. Customer part numbers. If you wanted to, you can detail items and put their particular code and description in. So when you do a quote or a sales order or an invoice, it'll have our stock code and description, but it'll also have theirs underneath, so they can reference it easily. We've got an analysis tab, so we can see roughly what's been going on from a trading point of view and also a transactional point of view. I've got a transaction tab to see all the outstanding quotes, orders, invoices. I can drill down on any of these to see what was actually on them. I can look at the ledger. Yeah, so if I look at the ledger, I can see there's an invoice. I can drill down on that as well. There's the invoice date, there's the due date, there's the customer order reference if there was one, if it was linked to a sales order or whatever. The total, and if this was in foreign currency, it would give me a base total as well. The outstanding amount and the base outstanding. Is there any settlement discount? I've also got a kind of attachments thing here, so I can see on this one, yeah, we've actually got an attachment, yeah, but that could be for a signed delivery note. It could be for whatever documentation you want to store behind that record. I've also got, is it in dispute? Yeah, and if there was, there's a reason, and I can see open, and I can also see the history as well if I want to. Okay, so on recent sales tab, I can see what they've been buying. Yeah, and if I'm talking to them, obviously I can say we've been buying those. We've also got kind of a cross-sell, upsell thing that sort of says people that buy those also buy these items. Why don't you ask about them? I've got buying history. Okay, so I can see that in November they bought these, yeah, total for the year is that. So it looks at the trend for the last 12 months and says, is the trend up or is it down, yeah, or is it sort of similar for a particular percentage, yeah. So our status here is green because obviously it's November's the last month I've done on this system, yeah. So as far as we're concerned, sales are on the up, yeah. If this November column, yeah, was kind of like here for last December or whatever, and obviously nothing was in November, then these would be red because obviously the trend is down. Okay, and I can also see for quoted items, yeah, not just bought items, yeah, what they've been quoted on. The credit receivables tab, this allows me to see what their outstanding debt is. I can zoom this up so I can see more detail about it. I can see that they've got a receipt that's outstanding for 43p. I've got the 3 invoices there, all for kind of £3,000 or whatever. I can look at this in the customer or home currency. I can see it by due date, document date, or calendar month. I can also decide to have my columns as 7 days, 14, 28, or 30. And then what a lot of people do is they sort by the oldest debt first. Okay, so I'm talking to the customer maybe, and I can see invoice 223 and 224. They tell me they haven't got them, so I highlight them and I just go to this button here. Yeah, and I say, right, okay, I'll email them off to you right now. There you go. Have you got them? Okay, and you know, that's as easy as that. I can also say, well, you've promised to pay me, yeah, by the end of the month. Yeah, so what I can do is I can also mark these as payment promise dates. Yeah, so next time I come and chase, yeah, obviously I'll be able to see that, yeah, those are there, and I can see, oh, okay, this one's it. This one got broken, so they want a replacement or whatever, and I can see my notes about it. So when I chase it next time, I've got those. Delivery addresses. Okay, so you have as many delivery addresses as you want, and within each delivery address, yeah, you've got a lot of information as well. Obviously the delivery address itself, but you've got contacts, notes and activities and documents, etc. against that particular delivery address. And if you look at the setup, you can see you can have different terms, different delivery methods. You know, do I need to book a time? Is it a special truck size? And I can see just the transactions that went against this particular delivery address as well. Okay. There are other tabs in here. I won't go into too much detail here because this is obviously a CRM demo, not a customer demo. But hopefully you get an idea of, from this one form, yeah, whether it be a prospect or a lead or a customer, I can do an awful lot and I can see everything about it. So if that customer's on the phone, or I'm talking, or I'm going to talk to that customer, I just look at this form and I can see everything that's going on, and I can do everything from here as well. Okay, so let's go on from there. We've looked at new opportunity. Okay, so let's create a target list. Okay, so target lists, yeah, can be based on a lot of criteria. So let's go through that criteria. Okay, so do I want to target leads, prospects, customers, or customers and prospects? Well, I'm going to target customers and prospects. The all contacts button, we have a default mailing contact, yeah, for a customer and a prospect. So if I don't tick that, it'll just do the default one. If I tick that though, it'll include all the contacts. Yeah. So if I had 10 contacts that were on customer, yeah, then effectively it's going to list them all. Okay. So here's a description. Okay. So I'm going to call it customer and prospects. Yeah, in the UK. Okay. This thing's quite nice, is that include last contact criteria. So as of today's date, who haven't I contacted in the last 120 days? Yeah, who haven't had an activity or a meeting or a call or callback or done a quote or an order for? Okay, so it's just nice. So if I haven't contacted someone in 6 months, yeah, right, give me all the people that we've not contacted in the last 6 months or had any contact with, yeah, and let's do an email shot to them and let's do a call list and call them all to keep in touch with them. Okay, so I'm not going to do that because I don't know what I'm going to come up with at the end. Okay, so these are fields now within the database. Okay, so if I say something like country, okay, and I'll pick that and I'll say I just want people in the United Kingdom. Okay, and obviously I can do more criteria, and you know they've got to be active, and you know whatever. Yeah. Okay, so now it's asking me who has purchased. Yeah, okay, so I can say who has purchased items in these categories or these specific items by this date range. This is great if you've got a load of stuff in the warehouse, yeah, and you need to get rid of it. It's like 6 months old or 12 months old or whatever, right? So the best chance we've got of selling that stock is to someone that may have bought something similar or bought the same item before, and this allows us to sort of search the purchase history, the invoice history, yeah, and say right, who's purchased this item. Okay, only a truly integrated CRM system could actually do this because it's got to be linked to the accounts and stock and everything else to do that, to get that information. Not purchased, so who's not purchased specific items. Yeah, there's also this little button here to sort of say, but I can just pick a few categories and items, and it's everything but those if I wanted it to be. Okay, and who have I quoted for? Yeah, you know, and it could be kind of who have I quoted but not bought, or who's bought and I've got an outstanding quote for. Okay, and then here's my list. So here's the list that meets that criteria. Now, if I wanted to, I could just do a quick email shot, a quick fax shot, a quick mail merge, a quick call list. I could just export it to Excel, and that's it. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to do that now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to look at a campaign and do a campaign wave. Okay. So I'm going to say yeah, save that. Okay. So we're going to create a new campaign. Okay. So let's go into campaign. Right. A campaign is actually an umbrella over a lot of, let's say, campaign waves that you actually want to do. So for example, I might want to email someone, then I might want to kind of call them, and I might want to email them again, and a campaign, yeah, is effectively just an umbrella over those kind of campaign wave activities. Okay, so I'll just say new campaign. Okay, and yeah, it's in progress. Some details about it, but effectively, it's the wave section we're interested. Okay, so let's do a new wave. Okay, I'm going to create an email type wave. So I'll just call this email. Okay, so it's automatically put email in there for me, but I could do it as a letter, a fax, or a call. Okay, I'm going to say in progress. I'm going to pick my target list, which is the one I just created. Okay, I'm going to put some details down here. I'm going to look at my target list quickly, and you can see that a lot of them are excluded, and that's because on some of these contacts they've actually got the not okay to email. Okay, so obviously you take it off, then when you look at it next time it will be. But what I'm going to do is, so I've got some records in here. I'm just going to use this button here to include them. But that's just a way of automatically exclude. Even if you get on the filter, you've got pick records that have said don't send me an email. Yeah, it will exclude them anyway. You've got a column here to say is the email sent. Yeah, and you've also got a send email button up here. Okay, but let's just compose the actual email itself. Okay, so we've got a subject. Yeah, whatever might want to be in it. You could attach some attachments, and this is obviously the body of the email. For just doing this up slightly, I've got templates, I've got merge fields. Yeah, so this is where I can just double click on one and put a merge field on, but I'll just pick a template, so one I've already created with lots of text and merge fields in it. And then when I click send, it would merge the email with it. Now this is fine for, I would say, you know, if you're sending a couple of hundred emails, yeah, to a prospect list or whatever, but you've just got to be careful nowadays that you don't get your IP banned as a spammer. So this will send it via your POP3 account, or it'll send it via Exchange if you've got the Exchange plugin. And you know, in the old days it used to be fine, but this is literally going to send them all. It will do timings as well, so it'll send 10 now, 10 in another minute's time, and all that kind of stuff. But I think it's better that you keep it to a sub a couple of hundred, and if you want to do more than that, let's say you want to send thousands, then you use another plugin which is a link to MailChimp. Let MailChimp send the emails, yeah, and all you do is in that particular plugin you download the tracking and the opens and the click-throughs and all that kind of information, and automatically create things from there. Okay, so I'll just save and close that one, and let's do another wave, yeah, which is, let's say, a call wave. Okay, so I'll just do this. I'll do a letter first. I'll do a letter and mail merge. It's in progress. I'll pick on UK customers and whatever. I'll type some details in here. I'll look at my target list. It's fine. They're all going to be included. And I'll tell you what, for this I might just exclude none of them. Okay. I'll do a template and I'll pick on that one there. And just to write this letter now, actually produce this letter, if you just click on the write letter button, yeah, it'll actually do a merge for me. I don't know how many records are in there, to be honest, but quite a few. So there you can see it's merged one, and there's another one, there's another one. Okay, so you get the idea. You can obviously print that off and save that as a doc, whatever you want to do. Okay, so I'll save that, and let's do another wave for calls. Okay, so this is for creating a call pool for people to call. So I'll say call, yeah, it's in progress, same prospects and whatever. This is here the actual script, yeah. So please ask about the new product or whatever, yeah, and that prompts the actual person calling what the actual call is about. Let's look at my target list. They're all excluded at the minute, but I'm going to obviously include them. And here's my outbound call. Who do I want to make the calls? So I'm going to pick, obviously, everybody. Yeah, so whenever anyone's got time, they can come into their outbound calls and actually try and make calls. I guess that's about it. That's the actual campaign. So I'll just close that down. Okay, so let's do an outbound call. Okay, I've got two types of outbound call, but I'll just show you the advanced one. So I'll use my call example. Okay, so now I'm a salesperson, yeah, and I've been assigned to do a lot of calls, yeah, and here's my list of calls that I can do, and when I open it up, I've got get a call. Okay, so I say click get a call. It automatically puts the script in, okay, that you can actually put in the details in the campaign. Yeah, you decide whether you're going to call that person back, you've got through, or you cancel the call. Callback doesn't put it into your normal callbacks in the calendar. Yeah, it just classes the this particular call as needed to be called back, so it goes back into the pool. Yeah, so if there was 10 of us making these calls, in theory someone else could pick that call up as a callback to make, later on. And in here you've got across here include cancel calls and callback calls. Yeah, and do the order by postcode or by kind of name. It's up to you. I can create a quote from here. I can create a sales order from here, and I can actually create an activity from here as well if I want to. So if this was a callback that was very important because they were very interested or whatever, or there's something definite going on here, then I can create that activity from here, and I can also create an opportunity from here as well. We also have a link to Skype. If you use Skype, you can make the call via Skype if you wanted to, and if you have the Tappy plugin, yeah, then obviously you could make this, and you've got a phone system that's Tappy2 compliant. Yeah, then you can actually make the call from here as well, and it would ring your phone, and obviously pick it up, and it dials the number. Okay, so I'm just going to open this record, yeah, before I kind of actually say right, I got through. Okay, so on the doll's house, I'm going to say, yeah, they really like the product. Okay, and I'm going to say got through. Okay, so when I look at this particular record here and look at their activities, yeah, you'll be able to see that I've made a call. Yeah, it was about the call example campaign. Yeah, and if I double click on it, yeah, it will actually have, they really like the product, and a call activity logged against them to say I made that call. And when you look at their wave activity, so I can open it up quickly, call example, yeah, you'll be able to see in the activities list, yeah, you can see that I made that call. Yeah, there you go. Well, it's not a call back, it was a call. So which one is it? It's a call that's completed. It'll be that one there. Okay. Okay, then obviously you get the next call, and they say, okay, I need to call that one back. They're not there, available. Right, get the next call. Okay, cancel the call or whatever. Yeah, so it just it gives me the next call after the next call. So if I've got a couple of hours free or a morning free, yeah, and I need to make some calls to follow up an email shot we've done, or ask them about a new product, whatever it might be. It's a dead easy way of doing that. Okay, so I'll cancel the call and come out of there. Alright, so what else have we got in here? We have something called global search, and what this is about is this will search across leads, prospects, customers, and suppliers. So if I type toy in here, yeah, then it'll bring up everybody with toy in their name, their address, whatever. I've got an exact phrase match here, so if I touch toy play, yeah, I won't get any, but if I include any word, yeah, then you can see that, for example, that one there, that's got play in it, but it hasn't got toy in it. Yeah, and obviously anyone with toy in it or play in it. Yeah, I can create a new lead and prospect and customer and supplier from here. I can also add tags as well. So let me just search this one down a bit, filter the records a bit. I can add a tag. Yeah, so I can sort of say, I don't know, tag 4. Yeah, select it and say OK, and what it'll do is it'll tag all those filtered records there, yeah, with that particular tag. Just later on when you do a target list, you can use that tag if you wanted to. Just a on some CRM systems you can tag records, and obviously that just allows you to be able to do that. And you obviously can export this list if you wanted to, yeah, to do whatever you wanted to do with it. I'll view it, yeah. Just wait for Excel to open. Okay, so there you can see you actually got the kind of spreadsheet of that particular filtered list. Okay. Alright, so from a CRM point of view, we've got some preferences. Like what's my default SLA for customers? When I look at my opportunities, do you want to use the gross a percentage of sale, the sales revenue, yeah, or the profit, yeah, as the actual value that goes into the actual dashboard? A default filter for my case dashboard. What's my default activity color? So basic kind of preferences. How do I set my territories? I've got things like there's my opportunity stages that we discussed earlier. Use definable. You've also got opportunity to competitors, because you can assign competitors against particular opportunities that you might be up against, and then you can have a sort of details about those competitors, that whether they're good at this or bad at that. And there's my resources, which are my kind of overhead projector, my conference room, all that kind of stuff, and my types of activity category, yeah, which are obviously user definable as well. Okay, so I think that's about it for CRM. Thank you very much for your time. I hope you enjoyed it. Okay, bye.